All right, this is my daily update for my Build in Public log. It is January 14th, 2025. Um, this ties in to my random story of the day. If you don't want to hear all this, fast forward. So, I'm not a sports guy myself. I'm a software engineer. I think that's kind of normal, to be completely honest. It's been in the news recently because um, the salaries for these athletes has gone through the roof. It is approaching 1 billion US dollars. This guy who was just in the World Series. So I'm not a sports guy, but I do watch baseball sometimes, especially kind of the playoffs. I'm from originally I was born in from Southern California, so my family has a lot of history with the LA Dodgers. I won't get into that, but so I watched the Dodgers. They just played and won a few months ago against the New York Yankees, so it was a really big World Series. And this guy who played just got a contract for, as you can see here, almost $1 billion. This guy's a Dodger, and he broke the record making $700 million. He's like kind of the superstar of all of baseball. So this got me thinking recently, while all of this has been happening, is why the hell didn't I play baseball? Why didn't I take it serious? I should have been an athlete, not a software engineer making AI agents and making no money right now. Yeah, I should have been a goddamn athlete. Like, I mean, just the salaries are just insane. So I remember when I was a little kid here. So I grew up in California, and sports are a very big deal. Now, sports are a big deal all over the world, and the United States, especially before, it was very hyper competitive. So, your parents typically put you in sports, but it's a bigger deal here in California because the weather's always nice. It's always like it's nice year round and large swaths of the state, and so there's just kind of sports year round. So sports is even a bigger thing here because you can always be outside playing sports. Um, so there's a big emphasis with getting your kids to do sports, and some kids do sports all year round. Like, it's kind of insane. So my parents, they put me in baseball, and I remember, vaguely, I remember I had zero interest. I did not want to be there. I, would be in the field, picking the dandelions, looking at the birds. Like, I just had no interest. I was so bored. And I remember by the time, so when you're a kid and you play baseball in America, it's called T-ball. They put this little stand. Nobody throws the ball to you. The ball sits just on this little thing. And you walk up to it and you just hit the ball off the little thing that it sits on. So it's very easy. You start there, and then a kid starts to throw the ball at you. And I remember I got to the point where they stopped you stopped using that thing, and someone would throw the ball. And I could never hit this damn ball. You know what I mean? I was horrible. And I would go out there and they would have to put the little T-ball thing, is what we call it, so I could even have a remote chance of hitting the ball. I'm a millennial, so we grew up with, participation trophies. So every kid has to hit the ball. So here's the T-ball. And then everyone would kind of roll their eyes and be like, God, this kid is horrible. Like he's the only one now having to have the little T-ball thing. And that's when my parents got the hint and said, okay, you clearly suck at baseball. I sucked because I didn't care and I didn't even try. But and I think I think it was the coach or one of the parents, I believe, yelled at me one time because I didn't try. Wasn't trying to catch the ball. I was scared of the ball even coming in my direction because I was like, oh my God, I have to actually do something. But anyways, yeah, my parents took the hint and they let me stop and never do it again. But after seeing these salaries, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, OMG, yeah. Why the hell didn't I keep playing baseball? These guys make far more than anybody in tech. I mean, the only people that make this kind of money Even the mid guys now in baseball or NFL, the American football, even the mid guys make far more than the only people in tech that make that much are the founders that exit. And even then, these guys are kind of even ahead. So here's my spicy take of the day. Okay, I believe, and I think this is going to get worse, but I believe we've been there for a while. I believe tech, so working at startups and technology companies, especially writing code and whatnot, I believe that has become much more like major league sports in America. If you're really good, and the AI thing has accelerated this. If you're really, really good, like let's say you're a top AI researcher, or you don't even need to be a researcher. Let's say you're just exceptionally skilled at doing AI stuff. You can now command salaries in the millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And if you are really good, you can command, funding rounds of like 50 plus $1 million. You're gonna have a fat salary. If you exit, you'll be very rich. And the war for talent has really heated up. And I believe in technology now with AI. The bottom half, if you're in the bottom half, you're in big trouble skill wise. You're probably gonna not have a job now and in the future. To be very, very blunt, this is my spicy take. Like I said, I think it's become like major league sports. You got to do it when you're young. You got to make a lot of money. You got to grind league code. You got to hustle and work really hard and work really long hours. And you get in your youth, and then you age out. So I am going to be 40 years old this year. So no one wants to hire me now. I have a lot of experience. I know when things are being done right. I have a great deal of experience, but nobody wants to hire me. I'm too old. I've aged out. So it's like sports. You get old, and people don't want the 40-year-old guy, because a lot of people my age have children, they have families. You can't work 100 hours a week. You got to go home and take care of your family, and you have other things to do. So you get in, you grind, you work, you make your money, and then you leave. So anyways, so let's transition into the business portion. So I've made good progress the last 24 hours. I am building one of the first major agents. I found this site. This startup has a bunch of tools, so they have a tool page, which is something I want to do something similar. Actually, I have a lot of cool little random tools here, but here's one I found that illustrates. Number one, this tool is very cool, but this illustrates exactly what the agent is going to do. So I don't even know what this product is. I don't even remember. You can check that out if you're interested. So what I'm building is an agent that does exactly this. Okay. So let's say you're in an email thread and you're like, hey, let's just have a meeting. One thing that the one job I had with Slack which was amazing, was you would be talking to somebody and you would do /Zoom, and it would just put a Zoom link that you can just jump into. That's one thing I want to add. That's one feature I'm going to add to AI Chat, my AI virtual assistant. But the one big thing is, let's say, through email happened a lot more than just, hey, here's a quick Zoom link, is, hey, let's schedule a meeting. So what happens when you need to stop and schedule a meeting? You go to the calendar, you put in the people's names, and sometimes it could be a lot of people. You got to go find everyone's email, add them, put some meeting notes, a description, pick a time. You go and you look at everybody's calendar and you try to figure out a time. So I'm building an agent so you can just send it, you CC or you forward or BCC and just say, schedule a meeting with everybody on this email at tomorrow at 9 a.m. And what it will do is it will look at the context of the thread, assuming there is one, make a summary, stick it in the notes, pick the time. It's context aware. It knows like who you are, and it knows like your time zone. If it does it, it might ask, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about asking. It might just do it in UTC. I don't know. I'll need to figure that part out. And then I'll put a title, and you can configure this in your settings, but to use Zoom, and you can link that up. You'll be able to link that up later, but this will be like a link, to like a Zoom, or if you specify a location, there'll be a location. They'll know your time zone, and there'll be sensible defaults like 30 minutes if you don't specify the meeting time, or you can say for an hour. So what it does is it will build this invite, and this will be a link. And a lot of email clients, when one of these links come through, like for example, Gmail, obviously when there's a Google Calendar in Gmail, it makes like the pretty little banner like at the top of the email where you just click the link and it's added to your calendar. Okay. Same with Outlook. Outlook has something similar. There's an Outlook Mobile. Yahoo does something similar. AOL. That's pretty funny. I don't know who uses. Does AOL even have a calendar? I don't know anyone who uses AOL. Office 360 is obviously a big one. That's, I don't quite understand the difference between Outlook and Office 360, but whatever. And then there's an iCal file. So that works for Apple. That's actually an Apple format, but everybody uses it. So the email will build essentially this, and it will do this based on what mail provider. So the logic is already in place. If you send out an email, I know what you're using. I know you're on Proton, Fastmail, Yahoo, AOL, Google. I have that working already. It's pretty cool, actually. So it will read that. It will send over an attachment, an iCal, so it supports everything, and it'll send you the appropriate link. This is the closest tool I found that illustrates this very nicely. And magic toolbar in any email client, and you click and you very quickly built a meeting, and everybody on this thread sees it. If they're CC'd with the AI, everyone will see it, and often a lot of email clients will actually automatically add them. You can configure it to do that. So hell, a lot of people in the email won't even need to even click anything. Worst case, they click a thing, and the meeting will just be scheduled just by text. So you'll give it a prompt. Schedule a meeting about this for tomorrow at 10 a.m. for an hour. That's it. You press send, and everyone got added to the email. So this is the agent that I'm building right now. I've made good progress. I already started on this a little while ago. I'm writing tests. This agent is going to be head to toe buttoned up with tests, benchmarking, tracking of cost, and it will accept a lot of different formats. You'll be able to drop this into a project. I'll talk more about that later, but it's coming along nicely. Needs a lot more work. I want this to be very, very robust and accurate. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to get this just right. But as soon as this is ready, it'll be added to AI chat email. This is a pretty cool tool, so check it out. I'll put a link to this in the description. That's all I got for today. If you're a kid or you have a kid, you might want to consider having them have a long career in baseball, Major League Baseball.